Why do so many men seem to be disinterested in their partners and uninvested in their relationships? I read so many posts on here where women complain about male partners who seem uninterested in them and don't put effort into their relationship. I have also experienced this with dating men myself. Some examples are wanting to focus on hobbies or spend time with friends instead of spending time with their partner, not putting effort into planning dates, not remembering important information about their partner, e.g. anniversaries or allergies, not being interested in their partner's feelings or experiences, not being receptive or helpful when their partner tries to discuss issues in the relationship. As a woman, if I was exhibiting these behaviors, that would be a clear sign that I was pulling away and not interested in the relationship anymore. Yet this seems to be really common for men in relationships, and it is just baffling to me. If they do not want to make an effort to actually be present and involved in their relationship, why are they in it? I know that many people are going to respond by saying that they just want sex and someone to clean up after them. But my question is why? Why don't they want to have a genuine connection and cultivate a meaningful relationship? Isn't it lonely for them to hold their partner at a distance like that? Don't they need to feel a sense of emotional connection in order to make their lives meaningful? And if not, why not? Why is that something women seem to need more? Edit. No one is answering my question. All of the comments are like he just wants a bangmaid. I get that. My question is why he would prefer that over a genuine human connection. I think a lot of men have no interest in relationships and don't like women much, but they get into relationships and get married anyway because it is expected, or they are afraid of loneliness. The happiest men I know are much like the happiest women I know. They're either in close, warm and loving relationships, or they are single. Love bombing phase. Infatuation. Those chemicals fade. They don't work on restoring them. Marriage is seen as just another landmark or item on a bucket list people are very flippant about. Relationships these days. They get one, then let it rot. Too many just use it as a ladder in the road to success or the things you're supposed to do in life. After marriage, kids, whatever relationship was there prior is no longer even a relationship but a marriage, and now that they've done that, they're on to the next venture. The same way they're uninterested in their mechanics or housekeepers. To certain guys, girlfriends are a job they hire for the price of rent. In return they get sex on tap, full-time emotional support, and a housekeeper. I think a lot of men see their insignificant others like they see their mom, someone who will cook and clean for them, someone who will love them even if they barely acknowledge them. It's up to us to not put up with this shit. Walk away. If men really want to be with you, they put effort. The men you're describing don't really want to be with you. They're in it for sex and or just don't want to be alone. But I guarantee you they're almost always holding out for someone better. I'm becoming more and more convinced that men don't actually like women. I suggest reading Why Does He Do That? By Lundy Bancroft. What it really comes down to is many men are conditioned not to see women as real people but possessions or trophies. We obviously know we are real people, so it's hard to understand why someone we care about has absolutely no interest in us as humans, just what they can get from us. Religion reinforces this idea. Centuries of patriarchy tells boys than men that they are superior to women. How many things are told from the male perspective disguised as neutral? Tolerable level of unhappiness. They are getting sex and don't care about anything else. They might not like the nagging, but once they figure out how little they can do and get away with, they stop listening. They are just shocked when the woman walks away. These men do not like women. They see no value in an actual friendship with their partner's BC in their minds. Women have nothing of interest to add to their lives. My 11th grade English teacher memorized my name first because I have the same name as his wife. I thought this was sweet because he seemed to love his wife. Later on, he fully admitted in front of the whole class that he would have rather married his ex-girlfriend instead of his current wife, but he said, "Oh well. Bruh." I think men know they benefit from the unpaid labor. Wives makes the majority of the medical appointments, remember their mom's birthdays, and overall run 90% of the mental load of a household. Way easier to stay with someone who does it for you, especially if you don't have to give a fuck while doing it. At 56 straight, woman, my lived experience is that men really don't like women that much. They have completely different motivations, and what makes them happy is completely different than what makes women happy. So yeah, they aren't happy doing the things most women find interesting. They want to watch the game, etc. Most women want to do something more interesting. Men honestly don't like women. Men do it for a sex supply, often with a side of domestic labor, sadly. Far too many women accept this because they are convinced it's better to be in any kind of relationship than live alone. I think this all the time. I truly do not understand how other women don't seem to see this. He wouldn't even be friends with you in another scenario. Yet you think he likes you outside of whatever it is you provide him? Because his emotional needs are being met, he's just not meeting hers. If a woman acted the same way in a relationship, the man would be out. He knows she's there when needed. He knows she will listen and care and remember all those things. He just doesn't reciprocate because there's just not much behind the curtain. Pretty vapid and shallow existence, and a lot of them are fine with that. They want to fuck us, but does not like us. They don't actually like women. We aren't seen as people but as orgasm and home services providers. If he wanted to, he would. Because they are, in fact, disinterested in their partners and uninvested in their relationships. No one wants to put in the work after the honeymoon hormones have gone bye-bye. Yes, I know. Exceptions to the rule and all exist. 0.00001. OMG, the barrage of men coming here with their small violin stories trying to manipulative guilt women into feeling bad for not being doormats, face vomiting, nauseated face. It only comes out after women they don't even know draw a pattern of received disrespect, contempt and harm. A lot of these men do not actually like women. Men bond better with men. They seek the validation of men. Which is fine. But the whole seeking and being in a heterosexual relationship because it's what's expected is creepy. Most men do not view women as people, but as livestock that exist for men's use and to provide men with services. Once this is kept in mind, the way they behave in relationships with women makes perfect sense. All of those things require men to show up emotionally, mentally, and frankly, as a society, we just don't prepare or encourage men to do those things or to do any amount of internal work to be able to. They're conditioned to be entitled to have relationships without having to put in any effort. To be entitled to someone else doing all of that labor for them. The disinterest is the best that many men are capable of, and likely believe that that's the full potential of any relationship because they've never had the capacity for more. They don't know, at least consciously, that anything's missing. There are hardly any narratives in our culture where men who are wholly invested in a relationship with a woman they respect as an equal are the winner. You have tons of narratives where a man is wholly invested in wooing a woman, and some with old happily married couples who talk about watering a marriage like a plant, but almost nothing about what happens in between.